a mean tweet from one of the hosts of The View, disparaging drawings from one of the world's funniest comedians, a long-running feud with a seemingly gentle late-night host. Here's just some of the celebrities who can't stand Sean Hannity. Despite his talents as an actor, Alec Baldwin has had a very troubled past and a hot-headed temper that's helped unleash his contempt for conservative politicians and media figures. Telling USA Today that he thought Trump was not qualified to be president is one of his kinder and more principled remarks. So it stands to reason that Baldwin, who frequently satirized the former president on Saturday Night Live, would be especially antagonistic towards Sean Hannity, a die-hard Trump supporter. Baldwin has no love for the Fox News personality, dismissing him as an idiot in 2019 while speaking with Howard Stern. And when Hannity ambushed the actor on The Brian Whitman Show on WABC Radio in 2006, Baldwin angrily called him, quote, a no-talent former construction worker hack before walking off the show. Meanwhile, Hannity has had a field day with Baldwin on air, conjoining his support for the Democrats with his public episodes of misbehavior. Hannity has called Baldwin everything from a, quote, left-wing lunatic to a, quote, very angry man, becoming more and more unhinged. On the set of the film Rust in 2021, Alec Baldwin accidentally and fatally shot 42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Hannity has taken a special interest in the ongoing case, but he stopped short of pushing for criminal charges.
I don't think he purposely set out to kill this woman, and I don't even like the guy.
Anyone who regularly watches ABC's weekday talk show The View would recognize that Joy Behar, the co-host who's logged the most mileage on the show, has no patience for Republicans. Her frequent jabs with former co-host Megyn McCain, daughter of the late Senator John McCain, are a testament to that sentiment. Those feelings extend toward right-leaning media figures like Sean Hannity, whom Behar once tweeted was, like the guy you don't want to go on a second date with, so he just badmouths you to his friends. On one episode of The View, Behar didn't hold back on her opinion of Hannity's employer. Whoopi Goldberg reminded viewers Hannity works for Fox News, and Behar sarcastically chimed in.
There's an oxymoron, isn't it, Fox News? It's like George Bush Library.
Jim Carrey's been one of the most outrageous comic actors to leap into the mainstream, but for the most part, he has kept his politics personal. That all changed during the Trump administration, when he gravitated toward visual arts to highlight everything he found despicable about right-wing headline seekers, from Donald Trump to political strategist Steve Bannon. In a 2018 Television Critics Association media conference covered by Fox News, he said, I'm doing cartoons because I can't just watch this nightmare unfold. The actor and artist dedicated some of his crudest work to pillorying Sean Hannity, starting with a piece displaying him in a grappling match with Alex Jones of InfoWars. Carrey tweeted in 2018, if you believe wrestling is real, you may even believe Fox News, InfoWars, and the robotic drones on Sinclair Broadcasting. But wrestling doesn't harm viewers. Performers like Sean Hannity and Alex Jones should join the WWE, where their hyperbole will do less damage to the culture. He didn't stop there, adding another portraying the Fox News personality as an undersea life form almost 2 weeks later and writing, Sean Manatee, some endangered species aren't worth saving. But in 2021, roughly a month after President Joe Biden officially took office, Carrey announced he was stepping away from his controversial art. When Stephen Colbert succeeded David Letterman as the host of The Late Show in 2015, the former Comedy Central personality spent part of that first season finding his footing. No doubt he hit his stride after Donald Trump threw his hat into the presidential ring, turning Colbert's opening monologue into a nightly Bloatus Bash-a-thon. But the funny man also saved some airtime for Sean Hannity. After showing footage of Hannity complaining that the FBI raided the office of Michael Cohen, Colbert shot back, noting that Cohen also represented the lamenting Fox News star.
What else haven't you been telling us? That you share a barber with the Lego man?
Colbert also roasted Hannity over his possible involvement in the Capitol Hill riots a year after the event. Prior to the riots, Hannity allegedly wrote that he was worried about the next 2 days.
So he either had advance knowledge of the plot or he had just eaten 3 Taco Bell Burrito Supremes.
Hannity's been less vocal about the CBS talk show host, but on his radio show, he accused Colbert of pushing a radical, left-wing agenda. As a CNN anchor, Anderson Cooper seldom takes a shot at the competition. But in 2018, he couldn't resist a dig at Sean Hannity when word got out that he was a client of lawyer Michael Cohen, who was convicted for campaign fund violations while working for Donald Trump.
So it would seem the president and Sean Hannity share more than dinners and frequent phone calls and a mutual love of Fox News programming. They also share an attorney.
Cooper has never vocalized his thoughts about Hannity, but you might have caught Cooper's eyeballs roll back a little when his name came up, especially when covering Fox News' cushy relationship with Trump. Cooper said in his broadcast, "I love the president says, quote, we have a lot of great people at Fox. Not even trying to hide that he thinks they all work for him, that they're all just part of the party."
We got Hannity.
There's an unwritten rule among news channels pushing a partisan agenda that on-air personalities shouldn't disagree with each other in front of the cameras. Case in point was the time when Fox News personality Megyn Kelly accused Sean Hannity of lobbing softball questions at presidential candidate Donald Trump in 2016. One night on The Kelly File, she directed a dig at her colleague, saying, "Donald Trump, with all due respect to my friend at 10 o'clock, will go on Hannity and pretty much only Hannity."
And will not venture out to the unsafe spaces these days, which doesn't exactly expand the tent.
Later that night, Hannity took to Twitter, accusing Kelly of supporting Trump's opponent, Hillary Clinton. Jimmy Kimmel has lampooned scores of celebs on his late-night talk show on ABC, but his lengthy feud with Sean Hannity has become a blood sport in itself, worthy of a UFC showdown between the two. It started in 2018 when Kimmel mocked former First Lady Melania Trump for her Slovenian accent.
About this and that.
The shot ignited Hannity's rage.
Jimmy, you're a despicable disgrace.
That, in turn, led to a barrage of clashes on Twitter between the two, until Kimmel apologized, also on Twitter. While Hannity accepted, he's continually offered to keep the comedian in check by daring him to resume the altercation.
I have a lot to bring out. I was just ready on the verge of unloading it all.
It's not certain how much Sean Hannity drives Seth MacFarlane nuts, but the creator of the animated Fox series Family Guy has incubated a few shots of his own to get under the Fox News star's skin. One episode featured lead character Peter Griffin lounging with his pals, Cleveland, Quagmire, and Swanson at the Drunken Clam, as they described Hannity's mug.
"He's a weird-looking guy. Put up a picture of Sean Hannity."
They went on to say he looked like Mr. Doubtfire, a high-sodium Superman, and like an angry face drawn on a thumb. Another episode caricatured Hannity as the new owner of a habitat Peter built for him.
"As you can see, we've made everything white like you requested.
Peter went on to mock Hannity's commentary.
And on the walls, I painted some of your most famous quotes. There's the one where you compared the homosexual lifestyle to playing in a sewer."
On a more serious note, MacFarlane has admitted to some discomfort with having a show on a network that's a corporate cousin to Fox News, especially with outrageous comments on COVID vaccinations from the likes of Tucker Carlson. In response to one broadcast, MacFarlane tweeted, "Tucker Carlson's latest opinion piece once again makes me wish Family Guy was on any other network." When it comes to Fox News targets, HBO's Last Week Tonight host John Oliver especially loves to take aim at Tucker Carlson.
What are you talking about, you performatively outraged wedge salad?
But while he hasn't dedicated as much screen time to Sean Hannity, it's obvious Oliver's got his phaser set on Snicker and pointed in his direction. Take the one where Oliver provided commentary on a Hannity coal rally speech.
In the course of his speech, he referenced God, quoted Reagan, and engaged in sexual harassment.
In a July 2020 episode, Oliver attacked the Fox star for exaggerating the violence in Portland, Oregon during a BLM rally. Pointing out text scrolling beside Hannity's head, he said, "In fact, graffiti is listed 12 times in a row there under the headline, 'Violence in Portland,' which is a huge overstatement. And at that point, it would have been just as accurate if that heading had said cannibalism in Portland, or Texas chainsaw massacres in Portland, or 9/11s in Portland." Hannity didn't strike back at Oliver on his show, choosing to comment on SiriusXM's Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show, where he said, "I don't expect John Oliver to know facts or truth." Throughout his extensive broadcasting career, Geraldo Rivera has endured at least 3 incredibly unpleasant situations. First, there was the embarrassment over opening Al Capone's empty bank live on national TV in 1986. Second was the broken nose he suffered in a white supremacist riot during his daytime talk show 2 years later. And third would most likely be sharing airtime with Sean Hannity at Fox News. Normally, media colleagues who share a paycheck signature wouldn't tar and feather each other in public. But then, Rivera skews further left than some folks in front of the camera. One of his biggest confrontations concerned Hannity's text to Mark Meadows, Donald Trump's former chief of staff, on the day of the Capitol Hill riots, in which he wrote, "Can he make a statement? Ask people to leave the Capitol." Rivera said on Fox News, "I beg you, Sean, to remember the frame of mind you were in when you wrote that text on January 6th. Remember the frustration you had at our beloved 45th president." That's when Trump's stalwart Hannity shot back, triggering some lengthy, inaudible crosstalk. During his 16 years on Comedy Central's The Daily Show, comedian Jon Stewart loved to chisel at Fox News' fire and brimstone dispatches to point out inaccuracies or falsehoods committed in the name of partisanship. In 2009, he caught Hannity red-handed using recycled footage to embellish the size of a taxpayer march in Washington, D.C., an accusation that the Fox News host later confessed was true.
Although it pains me to say this, Jon Stewart, Comedy Central, he was right.
A year into retirement, Stewart couldn't resist taking an extended shot at Hannity, whom he called lumpy. As a guest on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in 2016, he called out Hannity for labeling President Obama as divisive and elitist, pointing out that Donald Trump, who was running for president, proudly brandished those specific traits. Stewart aimed his barrel at Hannity and friends, saying, "You just want that person to give you your country back, because you feel that you're this country's rightful owners."
There's only one problem with that. This country isn't yours.
The next day, Hannity shot back at Stewart on his nationally syndicated radio program, calling the former Daily Show host idiotic and saying his head was wedged up Obama's posterior. Hannity said, "I know you're a rich liberal. Are you donating money to those families, the 46 million American families on food stamps, John?" According to Celebrity Net Worth, Hannity's assets reach an estimated $250 million, more than twice the value of Stewart's estate. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.